U.S. Import and Export Price Indexes, January 2022. Transmission of material in this release is embargoed until 8:30 a.m. Eastern, Wednesday, February 16, 2022. Prices for U.S. imports advanced 2.0% in January following a 0.4% drop in December, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. Higher fuel and non-fuel prices in January contributed to the overall increase in import prices. U.S. export prices rose 2.9% in January, after declining 1.6% in December. Imports. U.S. import prices advanced 2.0% in January, resuming the upward trend recorded over most of 2021 following a 0.4% decline in December. The January increase was the largest monthly rise since April 2011. Prices for U.S. imports advanced 10.8% over the past year, led by higher fuel and non-fuel prices. See Table 1. Fuel imports. The price index for import fuel rose 9.3% in January following an 8.3% drop in December. The January advance was driven by higher petroleum and natural gas prices. Import fuel prices advanced 60.3% over the past 12 months. Prices for import petroleum increased 9.5% in January, after decreasing 8.3% the previous month. Petroleum prices rose 57.7% for the year ended in January. Prices for natural gas also advanced in January, rising 10.5%, after falling 10.5% in December. Natural gas prices increased 118.4% from January 2021 to January 2022. All imports excluding fuel. Prices for non-fuel imports increased 1.4% in January and have not recorded a monthly decline since November 2020. The January advance was the largest one-month rise since monthly percent changes were first published in January 2002. Higher prices for non-fuel industrial supplies and materials, foods, feeds, and beverages, capital goods, consumer goods, and automotive vehicles all contributed to the January increase in non-fuel import prices. The price index for non-fuel imports advanced 6.9% over the past year, the largest over-the-year rise since 12-month percent changes were first published in December 2002. Foods, feeds, and beverages. Foods, feeds, and beverages prices increased 3.6% in January, the largest one-month advance since March 2014. The January rise was led by higher prices for vegetables and fruit. Non-fuel industrial supplies and materials. The price index for non-fuel industrial supplies and materials increased 3.2% in January, the largest one-month advance since May 2021. Higher prices for selected building materials, chemicals, and unfinished metals drove the January rise. Finished goods. Prices for each of the major finished goods categories increased in January. Capital goods prices rose 0.9%, the largest monthly increase since April 2008. Prices for consumer goods advanced 0.5% for the second consecutive month, the largest one-month increases since February 2018. Automotive vehicles prices also rose in January, ticking up 0.1%. Exports. Prices for U.S. exports increased 2.9% in January following a 1.6% decline the previous month. The January advance was the largest one-month rise since monthly percent changes were first published in January 1989. Higher prices for both agricultural and non-agricultural exports in January contributed to the overall increase in U.S. export prices. The price index for U.S. exports advanced 15.1% from January 2021 to January 2022. See Table 2. Agricultural exports. The price index for agricultural exports rose 3.0% in January, after a 0.7% increase in December. Higher prices in January for soybeans, other animal feeds, corn, vegetables, and cotton all contributed to the advance in export agricultural prices. Prices for agricultural exports rose 18.0% over the past 12 months. All exports excluding agriculture. Non-agricultural prices rose 2.9% in January following a 1.9% drop the previous month. The January increase was the largest advance since monthly percent changes were first published in January 1989. Higher prices for non-agricultural industrial supplies and materials, capital goods, consumer goods, automotive vehicles, and non-agricultural foods all contributed to the January increase in non-agricultural export prices. Prices for non-agricultural exports increased 14.7% for the year ended in January. Non-agricultural industrial supplies and materials. The price index for non-agricultural industrial supplies and materials advanced 5.5% in January, the largest monthly increase since March 2021. The January rise was led by an 11.7% advance in export fuel prices. Finished goods. Prices for each of the major finished goods categories advanced in January. Capital goods prices rose 0.7%, the largest monthly increase since January 2013. Prices for consumer goods advanced 1.0%, the largest one-month rise since June 2011. The price index for automotive vehicles increased 0.3% in January. More information for the major import and export price indexes can be found at www.bls.gov/web/simpom/largest.htm. Measures of import and export prices by locality. Imports by locality of origin. Import prices from China advanced 0.5% in January following a 0.7% rise the previous month. The price index for imports from China has not recorded a decline since the index edged down 0.1% in October 2020. Prices for imports from China increased 4.8% on a 12-month basis for the second consecutive month, the largest over-the-year advances since August 2008. Import prices from Japan rose 0.2% in January, the largest monthly increase since July 2021. The price index for imports from Japan advanced 1.7% for the year ended in January. Prices for imports from Canada increased 6.4% in January and import prices from Mexico rose 2.4% over the same period. The price index for imports from the European Union also advanced in January, increasing 0.7%, after ticking up 0.1% in December. See Table 7. Exports by locality of destination. Prices for exports to China rose 2.2% in January following a 1.2% decline the previous month. The January advance was the largest monthly increase since March 2021 and the index rose 11.8% over the past 12 months. Export prices to Japan advanced 4.3% in January, after falling 1.7% in December. The January rise was the largest increase since June 2020. In January, export prices to Mexico and the European Union increased 3.3% and 3.2%, respectively. See Table 8. Terms of trade indexes. Terms of trade indexes are based on country, region, or grouping and measure the change in the purchasing power of exports relative to imports. U.S. terms of trade with China advanced 1.7% in January, after declining 1.8% the previous month. The January increase was the largest monthly rise since March 2021. The index for U.S. terms of trade with China advanced 6.7% over the past year. U.S. terms of trade with Japan rose 4.1% in January, the largest one-month increase since June 2020. The index for U.S. terms of trade with Japan advanced 11.3% for the year ended in January. U.S. terms of trade with the European Union rose 2.4% in January and U.S. terms of trade with Mexico increased 1.0% over the same period. In contrast, the index for U.S. terms of trade with Canada fell 2.4% in January following a 1.9% advance in December. Higher import prices from Canada in January more than offset the increase in export prices to Canada. See Table 9. Import and export services. Imports. Import air passenger fares fell 19.4% in January, after increasing 5.1% in December. The January drop was the largest one-month decline since monthly percent changes were first published in January 2001. Lower Latin American, Caribbean, Asian, and European fares all contributed to the January decrease in import air passenger fares. The index for import air passenger fares declined 5.2% over the past year, the first 12-month drop since March 2021. Prices for import air freight advanced 7.8% in January following a 12.8% decrease the previous month. The January increase was driven by a 10.2% rise in the import price index for Asian air freight. Import air freight prices advanced 26.8% for the year ended in January. See Table 10. Exports. Export air passenger fares rose 7.7% in January, after increasing 2.3% in December and 0.9% in November. The January advance was the largest monthly increase since July 2021 and was led by higher Latin American, Caribbean and Asian fares. The index for export air passenger fares rose 8.4% from January 2021 to January 2022. Export air freight prices advanced 2.8% in January following a 4.7% increase the previous month. Prices for export air freight rose 11.1% over the past 12 months. U.S. import and export price index data for February 2022 are scheduled for release on Wednesday, March 16, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Technical note: import and export goods and services price indexes. All indexes use a modified Lesper's formula and are not seasonally adjusted. Price indexes are reweighted annually, with a 2-year lag in the weights. Published series use a base year of 2000 equals 100 where possible. More detailed index series and additional information may be obtained at www.bls.gov/mxp or by calling 202-691-7101. Merchandise goods classification systems. The merchandise price indexes are published using 3 classification systems. Items are classified by end use according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis classification system, by industry according to the North American Industry Classification System, NAICS, and by product category according to the Harmonized System, HS. While classification by end use and product category are self-explanatory, some notes are in order for classifying items by industry. In the NAICS imports and exports tables, items are classified by output industry, not input industry. As an example, NAICS Import Index 326, Plastics and Rubber Products Manufacturing, includes outputs such as manufactured plastic rather than inputs such as petroleum. The NAICS classification structure also matches the classification system used by the Producer Price Index, PPI, to produce the NAICS Primary Products Indexes. Import Price Goods Indexes. Items are classified by the Harmonized Tariff Schedule of the United States Annotated, TSUSA. Import prices are based on U.S. dollar prices paid by the U.S. importer. The prices are generally either free on board, F. O. B. Foreign port or cost, insurance, and freight, C. I. F. U.S. port transaction prices, depending on the practices of the individual industry. The index for crude petroleum is calculated from data collected by the U.S. Department of Energy. Export price goods indexes. Items are classified by the Harmonized Schedule B classification system of the U.S. Bureau of the Census. The prices used are generally either free alongside ship, F. A. S. Factory or free on board, F. O. B. Transaction prices, depending on the practices of the individual industry. Prices used in the grain index, excluding rice, are obtained from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Services price indexes. Indexes for import and export air passenger fares calculate changes in the average revenue received per passenger by foreign carriers from U.S. residents and by U.S. carriers from foreign residents, respectively. Data are obtained from an airline consulting service and report on tickets sold by travel agencies, travel websites, and directly by the airlines. Taxes and fees are included in both the import and export air passenger fares indexes. Import air passenger fares data have used the airline consulting service source since September 2008. Before April 2018, the export air passenger fares data were collected directly by BLS from U.S. airlines. The air freight indexes are calculated from data collected directly from airlines. These data exclude mail and passenger baggage. The scope of the service being priced is the movement of freight from airport to airport only, and does not include any ground transportation or port service. The air freight indexes are presented using 2 definitions: balance of payments, which represents transactions between U.S. and foreign residents, and international, which represents transactions inbound to and outbound from the United States. Fact sheets specifying detailed information for each services industry are available at www.bls.gov/mxp under MXP Publications. Import price indexes by locality of origin. Prices used in these indexes are a subset of the data collected for the import price indexes. The indexes are specific to a country, region, or grouping and, beginning with January 2002, are based on the North American Industry Classification System, NAICS, covering goods-producing industries. Non-manufactured goods are defined as NAICS 11 and 21, and manufactured goods are defined as NAICS 31 to 33. Export price indexes by locality of destination. Prices used in these indexes are a subset of the data collected for the export price indexes. The indexes are specific to a country, region, or grouping and are based on the North American Industry Classification System, NAICS, covering goods-producing industries. Non-manufactured goods are defined as NAICS 11 and 21, and manufactured goods are defined as NAICS 31 to 33. Terms of trade indexes. Terms of trade indexes measure the relative price of exports in terms of import prices for a specific country, region, or grouping. The indexes are calculated as one country, region, or grouping's all export goods price index divided by the corresponding all import goods price index on a scale of 100. Relative importance. A relative importance is a specific index's price updated value share, expressed as a percentage of overall imports or exports at a specific point in time. Relative importance values are affected by the trade weights at the point indexes are reweighted and index changes relative to other indexes since the reweight point. If an index is rising in value relative to other indexes over time, the relative importance will increase as well. Revision policy. To reflect the availability of late reports and corrections by respondents, monthly data may be revised in each of the 3 months after original publication. After 3 months, no further data revisions take place. For example, data first published in the January release will be subject to revision in the releases for February, March, and April. Rounding policy. Index values are rounded to the 10th decimal place after being calculated. All percent changes are then derived from the rounded index values and subsequently rounded to the 10th decimal place. Uses of the data. The primary use of the indexes is to deflate trade statistics, notably the foreign trade sector of the National Income and Product Accounts, NIPA, constructed by the Department of Commerce. Other published indexes are useful for general market analysis. For trade and international services, balance of payments indexes are used for deflating NIPA, while international indexes are more appropriate for market analysis. Email subscription. The U.S. Import and Export Price Indexes news release is available through an email subscription service at www.bls.gov/bls/list.htm. Additional information. More detailed data are available on the Import, Export Price Indexes homepage at www.bls.gov/mxp.